All right. So, podcast number 2. How you doing?
Pretty good, man.
Awesome. So, this is the second podcast we're doing. We did one earlier today with Ken's. So why don't you just introduce yourself and tell everybody what you're all about.
All right. This is Carl Chase. I'm a DJ, producer, remixer, also drummer. Right now just pushing heavy with this music, man, and getting ready for this now third release that I'm on through RMG, and outside of that, just doing my thing, grinding with the DJing and the music production, all that, just diving headfirst into the industry, really.
Yeah. What would you say is your favorite thing that you do, like right now? DJing?
Definitely DJing. Yeah.
You go out a lot and you just around?
Yeah. Actually, on campus at Landmark from time to time.
Oh, really?
Philly, Atlantic City from time to time. I just got back from Miami not too long ago. Was down there for a conference. It's actually Miami Music Week or Winter Music Conference. They kind of pretty much coincide with one another. It's actually the whole week is pretty much Miami Music Week, but it entails Winter Music Conference and also Ultra Music Festival, which is the big EDM festival.
Yeah. I've heard of that. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. And you're going to be on this upcoming EP we got. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what that is and your whole process for that?
So the part that I'm actually on is the dance EP, which is titled 4 to the Floor. We actually just came up with that last week, funny enough. So, it's it's going to be dope. I got a couple tracks on there, and my buddy Fran, a.k.a. Frantic, shout out to him. He's got some stuff on there, really cool vibe, kind of mixing it up. I do mostly house, deep house, tech house, techno, that kind of thing. And he's more so, dubstep, kind of the hard EDM stuff.
Right, yeah.
But it's a good variety for that kind of.
Awesome.
That kind of.
And what we, if you're listening to the EP and you like pretty much anything like house, dubstep, EDM, all that stuff, you're into any of that, there's going to be something for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Sweet.
If you're into any of the dance stuff, you like going to raves, you like going to clubs, parties, anything
going to
like
Landmark
that.
on a nice Saturday night.
Yeah, you really want to hear that bass pump and that heavy shit, man. That's what it's all about.
And you just have the one track, or?
I have two. I have a couple tracks.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's cool.
So, yeah, and then I'm actually working on my own EP outside of the the RMG stuff.
Yeah.
For my senior capstone project, and I'm gonna be promoting that pretty heavy over the next few weeks, just because senior projects are due and semester's getting ready to come to a close. So it's gonna take that extra push to really have to get it out there.
So you'll have this release, and then right off the back of that, you're gonna have another EP dropping, which you're doing for your your senior project. That's cool. How many songs are you gonna have on the EP?
My EP is 5 tracks.
5 tracks.
So
cool.
The whole idea behind that was to kind of pay tribute to the roots of dance music in America, which I mean most people don't really know, but house music actually started here in America, and now it's making kind of an interesting comeback, because it blew up over in Europe years ago, and you go anywhere in Europe and that's like the big thing that you hear, but now it's making a comeback. So I just figured I would focus my particular project on kind of just going back to the roots of it, and paying tribute to my roots, really, because I grew up outside of New York, about 20 minutes away, and house is really big in New York. So just kind of taking all of that into account, just kind of trying to educate people a little bit on the genre.
Yeah. You ever think about going up to New York and trying out some house stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. That's actually one of my goals for the next few years, or the next couple of years, is really to just build a fan base based around that New York sound and that New York style, because I mean people eat it up over there, and it's a great scene to be a part of.
So plan is finish out here, try to get some fans out here as well, go back to New York, and then try to make it out there, and
and then wherever else the music or the industry takes me, man, I'm all along for the ride, wherever that may be.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. So I don't really know a whole lot about this field, I guess I'll say. So what would be some defining characteristics of things you'll see, if you're gonna go out and you're gonna get into this music scene here? What's something that you'd start encounter right away?
So for my style of music in particular, or just okay?
Yeah, sure. Just start with you.
Yeah. If, like I said, if you're into the raves or the underground dance kind of vibe, kind of intimate vibe setting, think of like a warehouse party, for instance, or even like a basement party, heavy bass, lots of crazy, dirty bass lines, that kind of thing. A little bit of soul, but, mostly just like it's all about the beat, man.
Yeah, of course.
When that beat gets going and, that bass is heavy, man, people, it's like a science. It's crazy what happens. You see the reactions of people in a room, and people just instantly start moving, get up, start dancing, twerking, whatever it is. So, that's what I'm all about, man. Yeah. It's just making people dance, making people move.
Awesome. And so how long have you been doing it for? Like, where do you start from, when do you decide, all right, this is what I want to do, and then you start going off? Like you said earlier, you grew up influenced with the that New York sound. So where would you say it started for you, and when you like kind of got on this path that you're on now?
It really started at a young age, man. I mean, I come from a very musical family. Both parents were musicians, still are. A lot of my family. My uncle's actually a DJ, so he actually put me on to a lot of the older classic records that even still to this day influence my style of production. So it really kind of that seed was planted for me at a very young age. I mean, even from the time I was in, preschool and didn't know what dance or house music was, I just listened to it and thought, okay, this is dope, this is cool, I like it. But, the more educated I got about it and just, being out in the scene and meeting different people in the industry, I started to learn more about it, and, my ears became more open to different things, and, my mind just, became more open to different things. With the exposure comes education.
Yeah, of course.
I just decided that, hey, I got skills, I got the talent, I got the ability to do it. Why not make a career out of something that I genuinely love to do? Yeah. Which is, music. That's like my first love right there.
No, yeah, so, same.
Yeah.
I feel like, man, that's all of us that are in this program, right?
Definitely.
Like we're all here because we love music. I mean, I got a same kind of similar background for you too. Like, grew up, my dad being a musician, my mom sings all the time. So like me, he got into the same kind of thing. Mine, basically, I feel like a lot of it's the same as you, just except for getting into like the house and trap and all that stuff. I'm in more like rock and like, all that stuff.
It's all music at the end of the day.
Of course.
If you find something that you wake up and you're like, wow, like this is what I love to do, and you see like just things aligning, kind of perfectly for you, like, just being in school and being exposed to what I was at the time, and just, seeing how things have played out over the years in my life, with music. It's like, wow, like this is clearly what I'm meant to do, and just the people you meet, the connections you make, it's like it's all for a purpose.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So. Of course, that's totally the same. I guess. I had a question for you, but it popped up and it's gone. But I don't know. And what do you got? Anything interesting about just anything, your production style? Like how does that differ from other people, I guess?
I mean, everybody from a producer standpoint is influenced by somebody,
right?
So a lot of my stuff is very not so much imitative, but if you listen to a lot of the older dance records, you'll hear a lot of the similarities and resemblances in my records, just because that's what influenced me. That's what, kind of got me into the scene in general, and just, kind of realizing that and being like, yo, like this is where I stand with my music,
Right.
It's all like the classic stuff that never gets old, that, when you play certain records and you play certain sounds, it's like there's already that familiarity with it.
Yeah, right. Who would you say is like your favorite inspiration that you have right now?
Man, so many, honestly. Like
it's hard to pick, right?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like I can't even pick favorites, but
it's like picking a favorite band for me or something like that. Like
that
it's
too,
so hard.
Like I said, I also, I'm a musician as well, not just a DJ or producer. I started playing drums before I even got into the production and DJing. So just playing other people's music before I started to feel like I wanted to create my own music, and just learning from those influences. I mean, drummers like, I don't know if any of these names will ring a bell, but like Tony Royster, who currently drums for Jay-Z, he's
really?
Jay-Z's tour drummer. Aaron Spears, who is, I don't know if he still is, but he was at one point, might still be, Usher's drummer. And guys like that, their chops are crazy. And, from a DJing standpoint, I would have to say, you know, from all the New York guys that I grew up listening to, like Louis Vega, David Morales, you know, guys like that, you know, who are part of that older generation, are like the pioneers of that New York house music scene.
Yeah.
Larry Levan, who, you know, he was a huge pioneer and would rock this big spot out in New York back in the day called the Paradise Garage, which, you know, I wish I had gotten a chance. If I was alive in that time, I would have probably been there myself.
The amount of times I say things like that to myself.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Like the 80s, man. I hear the 80s were the shit, and I'm like, damn, I wish I was alive back then.
Right, I know. Your parents make it sound so good.
Yeah.
It's like, no, they're like, you don't understand. Back in the 80s, this happened.
This happened. Like, all right, shit, yeah.
You ever see, was it Michael Jackson's drummer? He just did a couple, I think like a year ago, he did like a series of videos of him playing like some Michael Jackson songs. They're like so ridiculously like intricate. And for not what you're like Beat It is like ridiculously. He'd be like, and he was saying like, if you ever got it messed up, you know, Michael Jackson would turn around and just like give him like a death stare. He could tell like something was just slightly off.
Yeah.
You know, so I like listening to, like, if you go back and you listen to stuff like that. Like, I don't know a lot of the drummers you're talking about, but I'm sure it's in the same kind of vein. Like, if you go back and you listen, like, it seems like kind of simple, but you listen to it again, and it's just like, it's amazing what they've been able to do.
Yeah, definitely. You know? And I've actually grown up listening to just about every genre. I mean, I was exposed to everything from jazz to rock to hip hop, gospel, reggae, Latin music like salsa, reggaeton. You know, I grew up in a very ethnically diverse area, not too far from New York. I mean, you know, New York is like the melting pot of the world. Of so, you know, you got a big combination of all these different cultures, you know, thriving in this one location. It's like you get some of everything. So, I mean, take, for instance, like Chad Smith of Red Hot Chili Peppers. When I was in high school, they were my favorite band in high school. So, you know, I just started listening to a bunch of different drummers and a bunch of different musicians just to, you know, hear how they do what they do, just because I'm interested to know, like, how they came up with their style. So all that kind of just, you know, influences me in my work.
Oh, yeah, I feel you. Like, it's like almost exactly the same with me, just, you know, different influences, but like completely the same. I'm like with you on the way. Well, anyway, that's pretty much all the time we have.
Okay.
So thanks so much for stopping by.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, you can plug yourself, anything you got coming up, your social medias, all your stuff. What do you got? This is your time.
Definitely. Okay. Yeah, I'm, you know, for anyone out there who's interested in listening, if you check out my Instagram at DJ Carl Chase, pretty simple, or SoundCloud.com/Carl Chase Music. You know, you get to hear a lot of my work, my previews of, you know, this new EP project coming out pretty soon. So, yeah.
So you're going to have stuff from the EP with Rowan Music Group, or just your own stuff?
Just my own stuff for now, yeah. But, you know, once that EP comes out from RMG, I'm going to definitely repost that onto my SoundCloud.
Awesome.
So, yeah, I'll
we'll
have
that
a bunch
out everywhere,
of stuff coming out for sure.
Yeah, awesome.
Sounds good.
All right, well, thanks for stopping by.
All right, man. Thank you for having me.